Okay, now I will first start asking you about the last lecture.
Okay.
So tell me, what is computer programming?
Computer programming is a step-by-step process designing and development various set of computer program to polish special computing outcomes. The process comprises several tasks like analyze.
I don't want word by word, but just explain me in your words, okay? Because word by
Okay.
word is a bit difficult. So can
Okay.
you name about some 3 or 4 programming languages?
Java
Yes,
and Java, Python
yes.
and PHP.
Okay. Okay, can you tell me about what does it mean by if-else condition? What do you mean by if-else condition?
If file condition is used to execute code blocks. If else is used to exclude code blocks in specific condition. If else condition.
No, it is not about a specific condition, but it means that if your statement of if is not correct, then run the else part. This is the perfect way of telling about if-else condition. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is the benefit of array? Why we use array?
We use array for unlimited number like 1 to 100.
Yes.
We use array for unlimited numbers or unlimited words like to 1,000 to 5,000 words.
Okay, beta. Now I will explain you something. Now listen carefully.
Okay.
You don't have to answer like in very hurry. Just answer in simple.
Okay.
Like, if we use array, we don't need to initialize more variables. We can just place our numbers or our data in a array form. We just have to enter our data. We don't need to initialize separate variables for them. So that is easy to access and remember. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now I will start with the lecture now. And
Okay.
okay, today we will be reading about Introduction to Computer Programming, lecture number 2. And the lecture number 2 is understand how computer programming languages are used. Basically, the first thing should be this, that how they are used. But I told you about programming languages first because you also need to know about them, and then you should know how they are used. So first, the computer program is written in a specific programming language like C or C++. After that, computer compiler creates machine code for human readable source code. The computer directly executes this machine code to perform certain tasks. Okay, the computers before this generation, the first generation or second generation computers, what did they do? We just have to type all of the machine language, machine coding, from human readable source code to machine code. There was not interpreter or assembler who will convert our language, our simple English language, to machine language. So we have to remember the machine code. But then what is machine language and what is the human language, human readable source code? The machine language is called low level language that a computer can understand, that the computer can execute. And what is high level language? The high level language are the languages that we can type as a human, that we understand and we can type easily. Okay. Now, previously programmers used to write explicit instructions that manipulate the computer hardware. This machine language was extremely difficult to write. 10 to 20 machine languages command are required to perform a simple task. As code manipulates the computer hardware, machine languages are considered as low-level language. Now, what was the machine language? Machine language was designed and written in the zeros and ones. Even the alphabets, the numbers, the other instructions were told in the zeros and ones language. That was very difficult for a human to remember. And for just one task, you can say just if we want that, we have to click a button. And for that, just clicking a button, we have to write 10 to 20 machine languages. the commands, the lines. So that was very difficult. Then, on the other hand, programming languages like Java, Basic, C, and C++, Pascal, Ada, COBOL, Fortran, and etc., because there are many high-level languages, many programming languages, are considered as high-level language or compiled language. In this programming languages, programmer write programs with the help of a compiler. The programs are translated into machine language, then the computer executes this machine language. Nowadays, most of the software is programmed in this way. Now, the programs that we write in our language, that is our programming language that a human can understand very well. Then there is a compiler who compiles our code and convert it into the machine language so that the computer could understand that what the computer has to do, what is the task for the computer, and then the computer executes whole the language and give us the output that we want. Is that understood?
Yes, miss.
Then what are the uses of programming languages? We use different programming languages for different purpose. Obviously, the language cannot be used only for one purpose, that we just have to make games or we just have to orders about that, click this button and then go to that thing. This is not a specified thing, because programming language nowadays is using in every profession, almost every profession. It is generally used in information technology to develop various type of applications, websites, and many more. This is also used in the field of engineering, various design services. It is widely used in the Internet of Things, cloud computing, 3D modeling, gaming, development, AI, that is artificial intelligence, industrial automation, computer graphics, space research, industrial automation, and many more. So the use of programming languages is not just limited to one thing. They can be used in every field. So what are the advantages? Every programming language has its set of own advantages. Now what are they? Programming is vital in terms of productivity. Vital means it's vast. So its productivity or its outcome is very large amount that we can't limit it. No one can one can get an ample amount of money if they know the programming language very well. Now, if you don't know about the programming language, that you can't get the required output that you want. But if you have a good command on programming language, then you know that what you want and how you will operate it, how you will write the code and how you will get the required output. Once if someone understands the syntax of programming, it has become very easy to understand. Programming is fun if one has an interest in it. So basically, when I started programming from the very start, I feel it very difficult because I was unable to understand it. Once I understood the steps and the way they work, it was really interesting for me. So if you don't know anything about it or you don't have an interest in it, you can't do that work easily and perfectly. So if you have interest and if you understand it well, then only you can be performing or doing that work in a fun way. So one can showcase their work with the help of programming languages. So if you know how to write programming languages, how to do coding, you can show your work to everyone that you have done this with the help of programming languages. Obviously, the coding at the behind, but at the front, you can show them that this I have done. My program does this operation, or it performs these items. Then one can develop an excellent interactive website application with the use of programming languages. You can develop an attractive interactive websites or applications. Now, what are the interactive websites? There are many websites from where you can, for example, any website of a company, you can chat with them. That is interactive. You interact with them. And applications also. For example, the Facebook, obviously you interact with people through that website. WhatsApp is an application. You interact with people using WhatsApp, using Skype, and there are many more. One can successfully augment the company processes with the help of the programming languages. You can run or you can handle the company with the help of programming language by making good and efficient programs, applications from which you can handle it from anywhere. One can get a chance to learning and developing new things along with the generating profitable outcomes. Now, once if the person is a beginner and he has developed some website and that website is giving him the profit, so he is learning it, he is trying, when that thing will be in the profitable solution situation, then the person will be more motivated that he will try new things along with that. So that is the very good learning process for it. It enables programmers to edit and create a variety of contents. With time, one can improve their programming skills. Now, once programmer has made something, they can edit it, they can create a variety of content, they can edit again and again, and they can publish it. There is no limit of that. You can do coding whenever, whatever you want. You can update your websites or your applications anytime through your programming skills. Then there is object-oriented languages. These are the specific languages where you create the classes or the specific things you can create by your own, the own functions. These functions are not built in. You own create your classes. For example, you can create a class of a vehicle, and in vehicle there are many subjects, like there is a car and the car model, there is bike, there is cycle and everything. So that is object oriented languages, and they offer a clear modular structure. This helps in defining abstract data types, modifying existing code. It offers an excellent framework for the code. It easily adopts software components and offers a good graphical user interface. And object-oriented language is really good in making a graphic thing. If you want any graphics in your website or in your application, then you should use object-oriented languages. It is cleared. Should I go to the next slide?
Yes, miss.
How computer programming languages are used to meet business needs. Now, here I will explain that how computer languages are involving or can be used in business field. Programming languages are the foundation of a wide variety of tools every business in every sector uses today. They are the backbone of applications, systems, programs, games, everyday tools, and other softwares. Simply put, without them, the modern world wouldn't be what it is today. So, if we don't have programming languages, obviously our world would be changed. Why? There will not be websites if programming languages were not there. There will be no gaming if there will be no languages. So, because of the coding and these languages, our world is being an entertainment platform for many of people as well as for professionals. But with so many choices of languages available today, how do you know which one are the best option for your business? The fact is they all have their strengths and weaknesses. That's why we have broken down the purpose and the use cases for some of the most popular options. Now, obviously, there is nothing like you can use every programming language for every purpose. No, every programming language has some specific things that you can use and you cannot do. So, according to that, the business needs are accomplished. Now, first is Python. Now, what is Python? Best language for research, data science, and data analytics. Now, basically, the Python is the apps that you create on your desktop or on your laptop screen. When you search on the website for downloading something, there will be three options that for what you want to download, for the desktop, for Android, or for iOS. So it doesn't mean that these three options have the same programming coding. No, the desktop will use Python, Android will use the Android languages that can include JavaScript, Java, SQL, and iOS will be in Xcode. That is for specific for Apple users, for the Apple applications. So the Python is that. Python is a language of choice for so many different types of software. It's straightforward to learn and use, and it is really easy to understand and work. Thanks to its simple syntax and other features, making it an excellent option for beginners and those looking to code quickly. Now, if you wanted, I want to learn any of the programming language that is really easy and easy to understand, easy to execute. So Python is the best because it uses most of the English words, except the coding and the obviously every programming language has a syntax, but the Python is really easy to understand. One area where Python really shines is in the science landscape. The language is ideal for scientific computing, machine learning, and data collection analysis. Developers love it, as do others in the research and science community. So, in the research lab and for the science experiments, Python is mostly used. Just a few of the perks software developers enjoy when working with Python include what they do. They create extensive library. It has extensive libraries and frameworks in which you can include graphics, you can include visuals such as Flask and Django. Now, what is Flask and Django? Now, the Flask is used when you need a small application and you want the code or you want that project to be completed quickly. It is simple work. For example, you can take as the camera of, you can say if you're using the camera of your laptop. So there will be a application named camera. You will just open it, you will just click your picture and save it. That's it. It will do just one thing. So that is a rapid application that will do just one thing and finished. But what is Django? It is a high level, faster, and most efficient, which covers very parts of the application. Now, you can say very parts means if you're using that camera and it is using a Django platform. So you will click the photo, you have the filters also, you can add frames also, you can add music also, and then you can save also. So now that is doing many tasks in one application. But what was Flask doing? Flask was doing only one thing. It will just click your photo and save it. But Django has various sites also. You can edit your pictures. You can make collage of your pictures. You can make videos of your pictures and add music in it. So for that purpose, Django is used. Automatic garbage collection. Automatic garbage collection, for example, when you scan it and it removes viruses at like in a Spark. Then portability. You can take that code anywhere where you want. That is a very not a heavy software extension that you can't carry it in a USB or anything else. Then GUI Sport, it's Sport graphic because it is a Python language and it is used for the desktop. So that obviously Sport graphics. Then the next best language for web applications. Now it is a web application, means websites. It is JavaScript. Now, the Android also use JavaScript, most of the Android versions. Now, for a language that hardly needs an introduction is JavaScript. For the ninth year in a row, JavaScript was named the most commonly used programming language in Stack Overflow 2021 Annual Developer Survey. Now, the survey that was happened in 2021, that was the 67.7% JavaScript language was used. Because most of the in Pakistan, I would say Android version is Android applications and Android software houses are more than iOS. So many people are using Android. They have Android phone. They need to update it. They want the new applications. The demand, everything in the that is in the stock, you can say, or in fashion, that is more. So Android is like in a fashion, very few people have iPhone as compared to Android. So that was the very commonly used uh, programming language. JavaScript is often regarded as the top choice for web development. It was introduced in 1994 for this very purpose, and today it's widely considered the gold standard for web applications, web pages, web programs alike. Now, JavaScript is both a front and a back end language. Why? Because through coding, we have to make the graphic also, the buttons, the text boxes, or the images through coding. And the coding that what that button or text box or that image will do. So it is a front and back. Front is the image, the pictures, the graphic, and the back end is the coding, the working. One of the top use cases is to add responsive dynamic elements to website. Obviously, if the website is not responsive, that you will consider that website as less effective and less attractive. So if you want to join the ranks of Microsoft, Uber, Facebook, Google, Netflix, eBay, and other major companies, JavaScript is something you should add to your repertoire. Facebook is designed by JavaScript. The Uber app is designed by JavaScript. Google, Netflix, eBay, and many other companies use these JavaScripts. Now, the best language for writing Google programs is Kotlin. Now, what do you understand by the Google programs? Like Google Drive and the other obviously options of Google. Sure, Java was one of uh, once the official Android language, but Kotlin pushed it aside. In fact, it has gained as the preferred Google programming languages since 2017. In fact, not only the tech giant offers extensive support for its favorite child or rather languages, but it also offers the comprehensive advantages to developers who use Kotlin. Developers enjoy plenty of special features when they leverage the language. Now, it is Java and the JavaScript are a bit same, but the Kotlin has more features and most interactive features in it that can be used and easy to use, and it has variety of options that you can use in your coding and in your development. And here you have a more good writing options, plus it is faster than Java. Kotlin language is as same but with some more features, but and it is also faster. You will have a leg up when you use Kotlin over the other language to build Google products and programs. But the benefit don't end there. It is also easy to use and can be applied to a range of software and systems. You can also use it wherever and whenever you use Java. Reliability, efficiency, fast coding, interoperability, expressiveness, code safety, and easy maintenance are other advantages. Now, wherever you use Java, you can use Kotlin language. It will be more easy to write, less errors, fast coding, more efficient, and the code safety options are also available and easy to maintain. Means you can update it without any tension that what if my new code won't run and will it affect my application that is also already existed and is running. So that is the benefit that it is its maintainability is really easy. You can maintain it, you can update it without any tension. Have you understand these 3 points?
Yes, miss.
Now, best language for game development. Now, when it comes to games, the C++ is a good language. It is widely applicable to many different products from data analytics to GUI applications. Perhaps this is why it's embraced by LinkedIn, NASA, Facebook, Google, Lyft, Walmart, Oprah, Microsoft, and many other top companies. They also prefer C++. Now, what is this Lyft means? It means just the app like hiring cars or vehicles who works with hiring or renting something. Now, C++ provides you to link with any data also. and the GUI applications, the graphics also. You can use both of them in it. However, C++ is perhaps best known for gaming. The Unreal Engine, for example, leverages C++. So many companies that produce 3D games and other dynamic products turn to the language. In fact, it has been one of the most popular choices for this purpose for decades. It is capable for adding complex elements to gaming system along with the other benefits like creating graphical interfaces. So it is basically used for gaming and for graphical interfaces because game needs a good graphics. If a game doesn't have the good graphics, no one will play any game. And the 3D games, not the normal 2D games. By all means, don't limit yourself your use of C++ to games. It has numerous other applications. But if you're thinking to getting into business, don't neglect it. If you want to run it as a business, want a gaming platform of your own that you can create and you can launch it, C++ is the best option that you can do. Then best multi-platform language is Java. Released in 1995 by Sun Microsystems, which was later acquired by Oracle, Java is one of the most extensively used programming languages in the world. Today, it's applied to a huge range of projects and used across platforms from mobile to desktop. The portable server-side languages has a presence in fields like e-commerce, finance, and many other industries, in parts due to features like strong security. Now, I told you Java and JavaScript are bit same, but they are not exactly the same. And it is also a more uses, more useful language that is using around the world. And it has many applications like Android apps. It can handle it. The games, the big data projects, numerical computing, web applications, IoT projects, desktop and enterprises. What is IoT projects? It is the internal of things, that physical objects with sensor, exchange of data with other devices system. That is that project that can share the data and the in out of your programs. Perhaps this is why Java is considered such as multi-purpose language, as it can be extremely helpful no matter what the project platform or field is. Now, Java also works as a Python language, means it doesn't use the Python language, but it can create a desktop applications also. Like the simple calculator you use, if you have used in your system, in your computer or laptop, that calculator is the Java code. It is created by Java code. Then the sixth one is best language for large projects. Now, for larger projects, which is the best language? That is Go. If C++ is too complicated and difficult to learn, Go could be the answer. The language was initially developed in 2007 by Google, and despite the fact that it is relatively young and compared to other popular languages, it has since skyrocketed in popularity. Not only is Go used for projects like APIs, machine learning, web applications, and mobile applications, but it can also be applied to huge projects like multi-facet system and data processing. In fact, the larger programs were the original impetus for creating the language in the first place. Today, Go is a top programming language, a highly modern one that many large businesses turn to routinely. Now, is also for the larger products. Obviously, game development is not a small project. But if you, for example, you can take an example of a Google, that Google has many parts in it. Google has its first of all Google. Then there is a Meet application where you can meet your people, like you connect with WhatsApp and Facebook. Then there is Gmail. Then there is Map, that is Google's app. Then YouTube also include in it. Then the Google Drive. Then now YT Music. Then Due, Photos, Assistant, Files. That all are in Google. So there are many things because it's a large project. Nothing is a small thing because when we search anything on Google, it can answer us anytime and anything. So Google is a big platform. So, and what is the API? Not only is Go used for projects like API. API is basically the application programming interface. The interface that is made. Interface is really important because if you don't build an interface is the connection between two things. What is that two things? The graphics and the coding. If there will be not any interface that can connect them, then it will be difficult for any programming language or any software to run. Now, when working on a development project, you have your choice of programming languages. These aren't the only options, of course, but they are same of the most popular ones you can turn to. Ones that offer many advantages to new and seasoned development startups and long established corporations, like whether you are building a web app, a game, or ERP system, one of these languages is bound to meet your needs. Basically, the first example is Google. The second example, you can say when your mobile applications have the tools option and it has many tools in it. You have security options, you have files options, you have other tools options. So that is the one thing. The name is tools, but it has multiple options. Okay, the next language is SQL. Now, what is SQL used for? SQL is basically used to store data. Not basically, it is specifically used to store data. That data you can retrieve through any other programming language. SQL is all about data. The business world has made a strong pivot to data. Many business jobs now require analysis to find, digest, and drive insight from data. SQL is used to access data from a company's database. A database is a very complex thing that business professionals will not need to know about, but business professionals will need to know how to pull data from database using SQL. Now, basically, you can say the SQL is like your diary, your notebook, in which you save your main things. The notepad that is in your mobile phones, you save many things in your notepad, right? That can be links, that can be names of the people you work with, um, or the people from, you can say, you have to give money or you have taken money from that person. You have whole list with proper sequence like the serial number, the name, and the things that why you have saved it. For example, the school data. School data has a specific system in which there are the class, from which class the student is, the name, the age, and the subjects. So when some parents came and they want that we want the information about our child. So what will they do? They will just write the student name is first they retrieve data. Retrieve data means it give us the data of the student. That name is equal to this. So it will take out everything of that student, even its attendance that is saved in that database, its marks in every subject or whatever the school has the criteria. So for that purpose, the SQL is used. Now, in the business, you can say you want the status of today's date, that how many products have been sold, how many are remaining. So you will apply the date, you will write the date that I want the data of this date, and the data of that date will come in front of you. So that is what SQL is for. You can add the data, you can delete the data, you can update the data using programming coding. Whatever you will write in the code, that will be changed in this database. That is the basic thing in the programming languages. If you want to be a good programmer who can save data and who can update the data, most of the online websites, online shopping sites have that this database because they have plenty of things. You just go to category and you click that you want, okay, you want men accessories. When you will click the men accessories button, it means the coding says that when this men accessories button is pressed, retrieve the data that is equal to men accessories. All the men accessories data will be shown to your screen. That is SQL4. Then the next is VBA. You may have heard about of VBA or macros in Excel. VBA is simple computer programming inside the Microsoft Excel. We would only recommend learning VBA if you are going to an investment banking or private equity role that uses Excel heavily. For most business analysis, you will not need to use VBA. So if you want to use Microsoft Excel, you will just use the VBA code. Otherwise, this Visual Basic Code will not be used. So if you or your company is using Excel most of the time, then this VBA code only works on Excel sites. Then there's how do I start learning computer science or computer programming? We create a computer science for business program to teach students all three of these programming languages as they are the most important languages to use. All the three languages means the basic languages. What is the basic language for computer? That is the Python. Then the basic language will be Java and C or C++ because these are the most of the basic languages and the SQL also. And Excel, because Excel is in laptop, in computer, so VBA is most important. The program is an online self-guided program that teaches the basics of Python, SQL, and VBA by allowing students to learn by doing. The program is unique from every other online classes because it contains dozens of practice sets, focus on real-world examples, and is not full of boring lectures. Now, there are many websites where they teach you every language, basically every language. The website, one of the website that I know is W3 Schools, that it has all the coding and you will also, you can test it that what you are writing, how will you write the code, and there are plenty of others. So you can basically learn your programming through there from online sites. Then computer languages programming used in industries. Now, if programming languages is being used in business side, obviously every business is not like they are just sitting in an office and they are limited to that. No, some person or some business have the industrial sites also. Now, in almost every industry, there is a growing need of for coding knowledge. From auto manufacturing to cellular biology, the top companies are building software solutions, website applications that need to accomplish more than they did a year ago with a user-friendly interface. Okay, now when you open the Play Store, you can find every application about anything. About if you want to learn biology, you have questions that if you want an aptitude test, that is a teaching test or some computer student test, you can find various MCQs or questions about that from which you can learn. So coding is not limited to only one thing. That requires specialized knowledge, which is where you will come in with your arsenal of algorithms, making magic, where the rest of us see a chaotic array of symbols, but you'll have to start somewhere. Now programming is just like a magic. Some will just do a basic algorithms or maths, but some will make a everything that will store many things. Basically, what is static array? To modulate an image. To modulate an image, you use a chaotic array of symbols because you have to show the symbol. You're not showing any data in numerics or in alphabets, you have to show the symbols. But you have to start from somewhere. Whether you want to learn code in order to add more value in your current job or you are trying to switch fields entirely, the list of top coding languages used in every industry can help you prioritize your learning. Now, first is automotive, and this in this the language is used like C or C++. What is automotive? It is related to a concern with motor vehicles. Now, C and C++ are the most widely used coding languages for the car manufacturers. The Motor Industry Software Reliability Association has even developed specific guidelines, MISRA C, meant to promote safely best practices for automotive software. Now, there are many cars that are automatic. How they are automatic? Obviously, they are programmed in the way they work like an automatic thing. And the automotive showrooms or the companies, the industries, the machineries they have, which build these cars or automobiles, they have special softwares. These big machines, how they operate, because the person doesn't operate that machine by their hand. It will click the button to operate it, and what that button will do, the behind end is coding. Then cyber security, that use JavaScript. JavaScript is an incredibly popular language, which means lots of apps are built with it, and lots of hackers know how to take advantage of it also. If you have a knowledge of JavaScript, you may find it easy to identify potential weakness or vulnerabilities. Because JavaScript is so common, it is a solid foundation for software engineers and will likely be included in just about any coding class you consider. Cybersecurity industry, or you can say an organization, works on JavaScript. They use JavaScript to hack anything, to get the knowledge of anything, um, and for the security purpose. But on the other side, the hackers also know the hacking process through JavaScript. So that is the wrong side also. Then e-commerce, developers can confidently build e-commerce sites using Java. Since it works well with all the major browsers, it is also relatively powerful when it comes to finding fixes and debugging an invaluable trade for any high volume retail site. E-commerce is online shopping and selling goods or advertising about anything. So they use Java for that. In engineering, there is Objective C, C language. Now, there is T silent, it's apply named. This language is object based and favored by engineers. Since specialized softwares will become more and more prevalent across different fields, and understanding of code is recommended and often required of aspiring engineers. Engineers use C language because it is most prevalent across different fields. It can use in very in different fields, and it is really helpful to build coding in different fields. MATLAB is a close runner-up for engineers who use to develop complex algorithm and visualize data. For algorithm for the maths purpose and for visualizing the data, Objective C is really important programming language. Then for finance use obviously the desktop applications, so it use Python. And healthcare also use Python. That with the rise in telemedicine and healthcare apps, coding knowledge is going to become increasingly valuable in the healthcare industries. But developers will have some extra hurdles thanks to HIPAA and the importance of keeping all that personal data secure. To secure the healthcare data, it's not about only for the patients, it's about the data of that hospital's doctor and all caretakers. Python is a popular language for health related apps, and since it works with just about any platform, no language is initially secure. So data privacy will be a challenge for coders in this industry regarding of their language of choice. Healthcare applications can be built in any language, but developers should have the ability to secure the data, that how they will use which language and how they will secure the data. The IT cloud based solution, and that is use SQL because it is basically the database system. In this, the database is installed, is secured. That is because they are using SQL in IT and cloud based solutions. For marketing, obviously, how will we do marketing? When we have something to market, to sell, or to buy, so we need the data. So we will use SQL. We will make a data analysis, or we will record that how many sales have been done or how many sales have been left. Then there is science, MATLAB. As I've told you before, for the science things, because algorithms and visualizing things are used, the MATLAB is the main thing. And through the MATLAB, the C language is used. But here, what is the difference of science? Because just science has not been algorithm. If we talk about chemistry, or we talk about any other, they are not purposely all about the algorithms. So as you can tell by the name, this language is built to compute. It has added functionality that allows the math brain to explore their data in depth more easily than with other languages. It is a specialized framework that was built in Java, C, and C++. These three languages, Java, I've told you, can use anywhere. Most of the things we can use Java instead of any language. But C and C++ is also used in it. If you need algorithms, if you need any science experiment or science algorithms things, the problem statements in the science, what are they called, which has in 9 or 10 book also, the problem statements basically. So if you are serious about learning to code, your research should stop here. The problem statement means that if you want, like in physics, there are the questions that if the gravity is this and the velocity is this, then what will be the range of height, the range of depth of that object. These type of problem solving questions I'm talking about in science. Each language has announced differences and benefits, and it's safe to say that most of the major coding languages are employed across multiple industries for different reasons. But if you are drawn to a particular industry and not willing to jeopardize your sanity by learning 10 different languages simultaneously, this should point you in the right direction. Okay, now Java, C, and C++. These are the called the best languages because you can. The coding is easy. Java can be used instead of C. Java can be used instead of C++, instead of Python also. So that is the best languages. Instead of you should learn the many plenty of languages, you should learn these three languages. The MATLAB, that is Java, C, and C++. For if you're working in any science related things, company or a lab or anything. Now, what are the top 5 programming languages used in today's industries? Java is top on right now, but it's only recently recovering from a pretty steep fall. It was dropping in popularity as a web backend language and it's all but dead as a browser plugin. But along comes Android, there's a sudden resurgence. Java was about to fall because of some conditions, but when it is collaborated with Android, it is again rising and it is on the top right now. Then C, C++ are both strong. PHP, Perl, both seems to be dying a well-deserved death. Both are in steady decline and I hope to see them drop out of the top 10 in the next year, maybe two. Neither is a language I would recommend anyone start with now. PHP and Perl are very less using languages according to C++ and Java. Then there is Python, and Python will never be let down because when even all the peoples have mobiles or iPads, but still there will be laptops and systems. And for that laptops and systems, the Python language will be used, and instead of Python, there will be Java. So, have you understood about industries? There are some more points also.
Yes, miss.
Then there is JavaScript. I have told you about JavaScript. Then there is C Sharp. Now, what is C Sharp? C Sharp is like the C and C++, but it has a slightly change that it is a Windows application plus mobile development also. And it is the first you will create the front end, means the graphics you have to create, and then you will create the back end. And it's not like you will create the graphics using code. They are the tools from which you can build the graphic and then you can code in behind. Then it is mostly used in visual basic or visual programming thing. Ruby, it is another language which is gaining more popularity nowadays. Other important languages doesn't don't even but the top 10. Lua is the de facto standard scripting languages for video games. It is down at 31 number, but it is a good. MATLAB and R are the standard languages because the science labs, there are specific, they're not more of the rapid applications that need to be updated very fastly. But the lab has MATLAB and R language. They are on 16 and 18 number. Swift and Objective C, They need to develop natively in iOS, and they are at 14 and 15. And even then, I use the language not mentioned so far, Go, at position 48 on the list as a replacement for C++ when I need a quick, fast tool. So these were the programming languages that are using in industries right now. Now, what is the last topic of our today's lecture is requirements for developing computer programming code. Now, what are the basic requirements for developing computer programming codes? Obviously, we can't, an unknown person who doesn't know about what is programming language can't sit and make programming languages. He can't do coding. There are some conditions. Now, what are these conditions? Computer application exists for just about every business function you can imagine. Software developers and engineers design software to solve specific problems, streamline business processes, or improve computer users' experience. But software can only function when it is powered by a coding language. Without coding language, the developing word is useless. In fact, code is the building block of all computer software and digital apps. That's where skilled computer programmers come in. If you are an exceptional program solver with a good eye of coding languages, you might want to learn how to become a programmer. Now, every field has the coding and or the languages, the programming. But who can build that? Who know about the programming language very well, or who want to be a programmer? Now, how to become a computer programmer before they hire you as an employer, any company? Want to see that how have you demonstrable computer programmer skills? Obviously, they will not see just your CV and say, yes, you can. No, they will take a test. How you will demonstrate yourself as a programmer. The path to becoming a computer programmer requires a college education, knowledge of specific code languages. Below, we outline the best ways to gain the skills and credentials you need. Here are the steps to becoming a computer programmer. First, you will determine what kind of programmer you want to be. When I was in university and I was doing my final project, I don't want to be a iOS developer, but my project was on iPhone. So I have to learn that. But if someone now asks me that which you want to prefer, I will prefer Android because there is a great scope. And I want to build an applications in Android, or I want to build the web applications program. So what will I do? I have an interest in Android. So I will learn about SQL. I will learn about JavaScript. So it depends what type of programmer we want to be. Then familiarize yourself with the necessary skills. Now, if I want to be an Android developer, what are the basic necessary skills that I need to know? I need to know the syntax of Android or JavaScript, how to write, how to operate that software, where I should write the code, then obtain an education. Obviously, when I will not learn the code, that what if I want to go to the next page? What will I do? What will be the code? If I don't know, how can I build any application? Then develop your application material. Material means we have to design, we have to keep in mind the design, that how you will design an application and how we will implement it. Then put yourself out there. When you have all these above points done, then you will put yourself into that thing. When you know all of this, then you will start coding. Then you have the confidence and you can do that. So these are the basic steps. Computer species for programming, what you need for the ultimate coding power. Basically, what you need for the ultimate coding power, there's not only these 3 or 4 points, but they were the major points that you have to focus. But now the certain computer hardware is best for programmers. However, if you have shopped around for any hardware setup, you'll quickly find yourself in confusing territory, flooded with different opinions, countless pieces of tech advice, and ton of different stores to choose from. It can be daunting task to pick up the best desktop or laptops for coding. Obviously, it is difficult. The first thing for coding, you need a hardware. You need a good hardware with good software or good operating system that can operate your heavy software, your programs really well. That is the first difficult task. Before you start shopping for a desktop computer or laptop for programming, knowing the minimum switches for programming is crucial. Now, for that, you have to learn about each and every part of your hardware. That how much RAM will be required, how much space will be required, how much the battery time, or the motherboard and the RAM. Everything you have to figure it out. It is always a good idea to have a top of the line graphics card on i7 processor for coding. Nowadays, the coders mostly say i7 and any the i series that is the latest for coding. This can mean the difference in your future success as a programmer. When programming, one of the most important things to consider is which programming language you will be using. Whether it is something like Python for game development or JavaScript for web designing, each programming language does things better than other. Likewise, knowing the best computer species for programming is super important. Now, back in the days, I had a laptop that wasn't of I series, but still I was able to do the websites. I was making the website. I was making, and I have performed a Java small project also of a calculator. So for that, the space and I think the RAM of 204 will be enough. But if you're using Python or you are using something for game development, obviously you need a more good processor and I series for good thing. And if you don't have an Apple system and you want to build an iOS project, so if you have the I series and now it is i5 above i5 or i5, you can install an other machinery code in your laptop that you can run the iOS application and you can code about your iOS application through your this laptop, normal laptop, not an Apple laptop. You can add install a software operating system, but only if you have an I series i5 or above than i5. So these are the specific things. Now, what computer species do I need for programming? Now, here is the Intel Core i5 or i7 processors, full HD resolutions, 8 GB of RAM minimum. It is the minimum quantity. What determines the best programming setup for you depends on a few things. First, preference play a huge role in what processor to look for. And also you have to consider the basics like good battery life, storage space, and things that outfit your processor for a programming and smooth use. Have you understood all these points?
Yes, miss.
Okay, now I think you have cleared about the business things that which softwares or which programming languages are used in business and why.
Yes, miss.
And in industries, do you have any questions?
Miss, you miss about the finance Python.
Yes.
Finance Python about finance Python.
Finance Python means in you have seen in the banks that they don't operate with the mobile thing. Okay, they operate with the computer systems or on their laptops. They have all their systems on that. So the system that is or the application or the programs that are run on laptops or computer systems means the desktop is built in Python. So that's why finance department or industries use Python language. It is widely used by banking and insurance company. So a foundational knowledge of this popular language would serve any financial professional. It is relatively simple as coding languages go and can be used in conjunction with frameworks like Django, which streamlines the process of writing apps. So as I have told that when we work on laptop we have, if we have camera, we have recycle bin, we have my computer option, we have now the zoom. No, the zoom on Android app and the zoom on the desktop, they both are same, they act both same, but what is the difference? That the desktop or the laptop zoom app, Windows Zoom app is built in Python and the mobile zoom is built in Android. So finance, banking, and other professionals, business that are used or industries that are used for, they worked on laptop or computers. They use Python language to create their softwares, so they can use for their ease. That can ease their work. Understood?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Anything else?
What is difference between C and C++?
There is a slightly difference about the languages and some syntax coding, but it is not as difficult or as different. They both can perform equally same operations, but there is a simple of like header files. There are more header files. The graphic difference will be there. The coding, the writing, the which we do. For example, I'm not sure, but C and C++, if we write a print statement, they will be slightly different, like C in for C language, but in C++ we use printf or scanf for input and output. So just the coding languages will be different, and some of the features, when you will use it, you will get to know about that. Some of the features will be different, but others they will be not a very big difference. Basically, C++ is used for game development. It has some good graphics, but C has not that much good graphics as C++ and working like C++ that we can't build games on it. Understood now?
Yes, miss.
Okay, anything else?
No,
Okay, beta.
good. Everything is good.
Okay, thank you. And in the next class, as usual, I will also ask again
Okay.
about this lecture. And
Okay.
also you can point out you can make a list that you don't understand, and I will answer them in my next class. If you still don't understand anything, just go through
Okay.
slide and okay,
Okay, miss.
thank you so much.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.